Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaRakah, Quadash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, all rule well, and shalom to the whole full elect. This is Paya Allah of the GMS London Camp, and this is News and Prophecy, Prophecy and News, and I have an article here from Zero Hedge, and the title reads, Israel delivers second Iron Dome missile battery to U.S. Army, Iraq. So not the first, but the second, alright? Showing you there's a great form of bond, alright? And the bond that's there is established upon prophecy, alright? Because it tells you in the book of Jeremiah that the least of the flock shall draw them out, alright? The flock pertaining to Esau, Edom, alright? And specifically dealing with America within that flock of Esau, Edom, right? Which today is known as the so-called white man. So within that flock that pertains to America, it's talking about the extension of that being the Israelis, okay? That they would be the least of the flock because they're the smallest, all right? They're more or less a speck within the whole entirety of the Middle East, okay? They're like the odd ones out over there, but in saying that, they have the greatest amount of power over there due to having America backing them, all right? So that's why I'm getting into, that's the real premise, all right? The reason why I'm getting into this video for the sake of that prophecy, because it said the least of the flock shall draw them out. That meaning that the Israelis will basically be part of one of the big catalysts that would lead to World War III, okay? Like you had the whole situation with Franz Ferdinand, and through that one man dying over there in Austria, I believe, how it had a snowball effect, a domino effect of various aligned powers that are aligned to him, being at odds with each other and basically culminating into a world war. That's the same thing that's going to happen with this Israel, all right? So now I'm going to, I'll delve into it. Lord willing, you be edified. So it says, Israel delivers second Iron Dome missile battery to U.S. Army. So it says, this weekend, the Israel Ministry of Defense delivered the second of two Iron Dome anti-air missile defense systems to the U.S. Army, all right? So mind you, they gave them anti-air missile systems, basically, defense systems. Defense Minister Benny Grant told Israel National News that the delivery of the Iron Dome to the U.S. Army once again demonstrates the close relations between the Israel Ministry of Defense and the U.S. Department of Defense. Grant continued, I am confident that the system will assist the U.S. Army in protecting American troops from ballistic and airborne threats, as well as from developing threats in the areas where the U.S. troops are deployed in various missions. Right, Israel National News said that Iron Domes will be employed in defense of U.S. troops against a variety of ballistic and aerial threats. There was no mention of where the new missile defense system would be deployed, all right? So they didn't say where they were going to be deployed, all right? But mind you, the fact that, Israel supplying them, the Israelis, basically lends you to, would lend you to believe it's somewhere pertaining to that landmass, that's somewhere close by. So it says how the Iron Dome works. It says in August 2019, the U.S. signed a landmark deal with Israel to procure two Iron Dome systems, co-developed by Raytheon, an Israeli defense firm, Rafael. Right, and the word Raphael goes back to funny enough, they're using that word, but the word Raphael goes back to the Hebrew Rapaya Allah, which basically means healing of God, all right? The system has been touted by Israeli leaders as the most advanced short to mid-range interceptor in the world, with a proven track record of shooting down Hamas rockets from Gaza, all right? So these missile defense systems are basically set in place to be an obstacle, or even, to basically stop any form of attack landing in, in an area that they're defending, by basically when the missile's going up into the atmosphere, the missile shoots up to prevent it from actually going to its set target. But the thing with the new missiles that have been developed is that a lot of them fly closer to the ground. So I believe that, I can't remember what movie it was in, but basically they shoot up into the atmosphere. Well, not even into the atmosphere. They shoot up a bit, gain some momentum, and then basically move closer to the ground. All right, so they in that sense it gets around the missile defense systems, unless they have ones that basically work for those said missiles. All right, but the point being is that those missiles were made for a purpose. All right, and that's why you have missile defense systems. So reading on it says Iron Dome in action. It says Tel Aviv announced the Iron Dome's kill rate was around 86% when in May 2019, with 700 rockets were launched from Gaza Strip over a few days. The Iron Dome success rate is so high that even Saudi Arabia has been a buyer of the missile defense system. The question now, where is the U.S. Army going to deploy its new Iron Dome system? Alright, and that is a question. Where is it going to deploy? We don't know. But the main thing you got to understand is that World War III is going to be fought on many different battlefronts, alright? And one of the main places, like I said, the fact that they got it from the Israelis could lend you to believe that they're gonna use it within that landmass, alright? But okay, So I'm gonna read this. It's Joel 3:9. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles: prepare war, wake up the mighty men." Yeah. So who are these? Who is Israel and America defending their their land masses from, their bases from? Headed by Russia, all right, but also many heathen nations like China, you could say the Indians, you more China, Iran, all right, the Persians, these different nations that basically, through the Spirit of the Lord, have been proclaimed to prepare for war. They've been told through the Spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, He sent forth His angels to prepare them in the way of war. So this is Joel 3:9. So it says, "Proclaim ye this, proclaim but among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." So the Lord's put the Spirit on all the mighty men of these nations to basically be, in the Spirit on the earth at this time. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. All right. So those are instruments of farming, right? Of agriculture, that basically is more or less the Lord saying, "Look, man, don't worry about all that. Those utensils you would have used for that, use them for warfare." Okay, and that's basically what's happening. What's happening with these various nations? They're investing a great deal of their wealth into weapons of war. All right, it says, "Let the weak say I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Tiva calls thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat." And that's the reason why I read this, because these weapons are basically being utilized, to protect their land masses, but ultimately they're all gonna go down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which the valley of Jehoshaphat is the valley of decision. All right, Yahweh's judgment, basically, His decision, and that's where all the masses of the people gonna come. All right, and basically, duke it out. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down. For the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw from shining. Yeah, because as it tells you in the book of Isaiah 9:5, it tells you that all the weapons of all the wars of the warrior, all the battles of the warriors with swords swinging and garments rolled in blood, but this one will be a fuel of fire. Because it's World War III, as proclaimed by the angel in the book of Revelations, that there's going to be three woes, right? And we're in the last woe. This is the last woe being prepared. And this is the fuel of fire that's going to be utilized for that fight, alright? The fuel of fire being the missiles, which is the instrument which the smith that bloweth the coals shall bring forth. So ultimately, this is what you see happening. It's culminating to this point whereby the sun and moon shall be darkened and the stars shall withdraw from shining, which is basically going to be when America's destroyed, being a lake of fire spoke of it in the book of Revelations, spewing the smoke into the sky, but then also the confounding of its wisdom right in that day. So with that, man, I pray you're edified. Until the next one, I say shalom.